guys, welcome to the Screen Blast Podcast. I'm here with a new cast. Of course, the classic, the guy that returned from Sonic Prime and The Last of Us, Episode 3 conversation, Martin.
Hey, it's me, Martin. Nice to see y'all again.
Indeed. And a special guest. In fact, if you've listened to us, none of you have, because I've seen the analytics. None of you have listened to our older stuff. But a familiar face from the past, new for the present, Dante. Find him at Twilight Drago.
Yo, it's been fun. Funnily enough, it's been about as long as that video since we've talked in person.
We've got quite a lot to cover here. Screen Blast Podcast, of course, you can find us on almost every podcast service, and we are now releasing our content on YouTube. Find us there. If you're going through this full episode, you'll find that we go through the full movie Screen Blast content first, move into the Screen Blast TV content next, and then the gaming subjects finally, but all that will be released within YouTube over the next week. All right, let's get into the Screen Blast briefing news. Will Smith is back in acting again. Bad Boys 4 is, in fact, in development. I'll say, I can't hate the man for coming back to Bad Boys. I'm very excited, actually.
I'm more excited about Martin Lawrence.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm more excited about Martin Lawrence.
The fact that they're even making another movie after certain events is...
That's slap.
Yeah. It's coming up on a year anniversary, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to be excited for that. Yeah.
It is already blowing my mind right now. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, seeing anything with those two again. Because, again, the first three was just like... The Martin Lawrence and Will Smith in the same.
It's great. Yeah.
The 1-2 punch.
Yeah. They should just commit to what they did with the last movie, which is they called it Bad Boys 4 Life. Now they need to make a 5 name for this, even though it's the 4th movie. They really fucked themselves.
Yeah. That was supposed to be the last one too, wasn't it?
It's supposed to be the last one. Then it made a lot of money. It was actually, I think, one of the last movies before COVID.
I think so.
Because it was me and Laja also watched that. When I picked her up from UMES, we went to a theater to see Bad Boys 4 because there weren't many things out except for, I think, Sonic 2.
Yeah.
And Bad Boys 4.
2, probably Bullet Train. I think that was about to come out.
Bullet Train was last year, I think.
Was that last year?
I was 22. But, what the fuck else was out?
Bullet Train,
That was last year. Yeah. There were some movies that just sort of survived in that little small period right before COVID.
You all right?
Either way, what I loved about Bad Boys for Life, and I'm trying to find a way to stitch those into new episodes of the podcast so that some of you guys can hear what we thought in the moment. But Bad Boys for Life, it's like it still had stakes, and you still felt for those characters. Like you had, the dude that's like assassinating people, and it's like very serious, and you lose the chief or captain. What Martin Lawrence was dealing with was real. What Will Smith was dealing with was real in that movie, and I thought that the action was great. Solid movie, did a really good job, and I'm hoping that'll be just as good for 4. Obviously, I think the son's going to be involved now. And,
most definitely.
Yeah, so, all good.
What's crazy is, if he doesn't smack anyone through the entirety of the movie, this is a wasted opportunity.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
You gotta get... Yep.
I just need somebody to say something about his wife.
They should just twist it. Make Martin Lawrence say it.
I know for a fact Martin Lawrence was going to say something. There's going to be at least like 3 jokes.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth. Don't say it. All right.
Oh, they're going to be tied up with something, and they're going to mention it, and she'll be like, keep my wife's name out your mouth. I can just imagine it.
Oh, yeah.
I can just imagine it.
But that's why their banter is so good. That's why it's like, this shit can get really deep. All right. So we now know what DC is going to do. We here at the Screen Blast Podcast have spent probably about 8 months talking about DC going through chaos. If there was going to be a Henry Cavill movie, there's not. What they're doing with The Flash, they're still rolling through with it. The chaos within, and we now have confirmation of what they're going to do after this comes out. In fact, we're going to go watch a quick video, and then we will be back after said point. So the DC Cinematic Universe, or the DC Universe, now has sort of a direction that James Gunn wants to go in. We watched the video that Warner Brothers released about it, their first slate or chapter titled Gods and Monsters. Before I let you guys speak, I will say, I know that we disagree on this. I do like the concept that the things that are in the universe are going to stay within the same actor set, whether it's animated or not. Now, I hope that doesn't lessen any of the other offshoots, because often DC's animation has been the best thing from everything they've done over the past sort of 20 years.
Wow,
so, outside of like Dark Knight withstanding, like there's nothing in live action that's propped higher than it in the animation realm. So I'll let you guys talk about it. What do you guys think so far about this idea? Going in the sort of direction of Marvel still, going into a chapter one and the movies and shows they conceptualize here.
Let me lean up here.
Close. Because I got a lot of bad shit to say.
Hey, go for it.
You ready?
Absolutely.
I don't care. No. For the most part, I really don't care, because again, DC, like I said, DC is not my favorite. It's always going to be Marvel. I love the DC comics. The DC animation is great, but also a lot of those series they just mentioned, no one's going to care. No one's going to care about any of those. Yeah. Booster Gold, I like Booster Gold, but no one's going to care about him. I like Blue Beetle. Which Blue Beetle are they talking about? Are they talking about the kid? Are they talking about the adult Blue Beetle? Are they talking about no, there was no woman. I'm not her. But Rhyme?
Yeah.
No one's going to care about that. Creature Commandos, I'm sorry, I've never even heard of them. Are they new?
But do you think that this is obviously everyone sees what's happening with the MCU.
Yeah.
No one gave a fuck about Iron Man. That's always been the key with the MCU. No one gave a fuck about Iron Man. There were some light fans of Thor.
Yeah.
And Captain America was a joke. Like, do you think in 5 years after 2024 or 5 when this launches, you think people are actually going to give a fuck about these characters?
No, because they didn't give a fuck about them now.
But again, like I said, Iron Man, no one gave a fuck about. Between 2008 and 2012, let's take 2007 and 2012. That's a 5-year span. 2007, you hear about Iron Man. All right, good luck for them. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
no one really. A few people, but not many gave a fuck. And
but the thing about that is, Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America, people didn't care about them.
Right.
But those three were Avengers.
That's right.
So, but Blue Beetle, Booster Gold. They're part of the Justice League, but the Justice League has a roster of hundreds of people. It's not like the Avengers where they have a main roster
like a set.
There, the Justice League is a big old operating bunch of superheroes who protect the galaxy.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure you couldn't name 95 of them.
Of course not. No.
Like 90. No, that's what I'm saying. The Avengers.
Wait. Let me start. Spider-Man, the Hulk, Batman, of course. I'm done. Right.
That's all I'm saying is because eventually, like they were all main characters, like a part of that team, like the Avengers. But then no one's gonna look at the whatever that was besides I don't know besides Blue Beetle and
Blue Beetle. So the Flash, Blue Beetle, Shazam, and Aquaman are all basically pointless. As of the present day, none of them matter. They're pointless. And even Mark was bringing up the fact, like, this has to affect the box office success of all 4 of those movies. Because who's going to want to see a movie that has nothing to do with whatever the future is going to attend with that?
They make a Justice League. If this round up to them making a Justice League, the team is going to be so freaking weird because
James Gunn is weird though. Look at that too.
I can already see everyone screaming, "Where the hell is Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and all the main Justice League characters?" They're going to want to see the 7. Marvin. The Martian Manhunter wasn't even on that list.
Right.
And
but who says that this is going to be the Avengers in the next movie?
I'm not saying that. I feel that although they're going to lead up, they're going to eventually go into a Justice League.
Agreed.
Like, there's no way they're not going to.
But they are doing a prequel idea where they're on Wonder Woman's island. Mm-hmm. We have the Batman concept, which I know you're not. Batman,
I'm just waiting.
Right? That Batman coming. You have Superman. You have those three that will eventually come in at some point in time, and then you also have Supergirl, right? Those are the three critical characters that DC really cares about, and I know that there are more, but and you have Green Lantern. Like, these things are being built up. I think that Chapter 2, at the end of Chapter 2, 2030, is what James Gunn wants. Other issue is, I don't know if Warner Brothers wants to wait that long for a big, like, a massive Avengers-style movie. But Dante, go ahead and
Alright, so
throw us your thoughts on this here.
Things to state.
Yeah.
First, I know just about every member of the Justice League. Second,
that list, he's got it.
yeah, I know. That's why I looked at you when you was like, nobody can name like 90%. I'm like, yeah, I can name basically all of them. So, alright,
Well,
so
excuse me.
I got multiple things to say. First, I'm gonna talk about Blue Beetle because Blue Beetle is my favorite DC character.
Oh, so you're really
I'm not
loving.
saying. You whole concept. I'm not.
Hold on, no.
You're really loving this situation, then.
No, I'm not. Let me tell you why. Because that movie is basically done.
Yeah.
Like, that movie is done. And from what he's talking about, it's not going to count in the second half. So now I really don't want to fucking see it, which pisses me off. But this entire thing just seems like he's trying to move too fast, which was the problem that DC had before. We can establish all these characters. Superman, bet. Cool. That's cool for real. The mascara, we can see. That's the only one I'm kind of, sort of excited about. Green Lantern. I love fucking Jon Stewart. Fuck Hal Jordan. But I love Jon Stewart. So I'm gonna watch that. The fact that we're getting Swamp Thing as like probably the first look into the Dark Justice League is wild as fuck to me. Because he basically just stated that he's the offshoot. So that means that they're gonna try to do Dark at the same time. So that means we'll probably get cameos from characters like Constantine, Satana, and all the rest.
I mean, we already had Fate.
Yeah, we already had Fate, which they're gonna recast again because he doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
And he fucking, spoiler alert, he fucking died in Black Adam. So
I mean, that doesn't really matter if he died as long as the freaking helmet, which
Well, none of it matters.
yeah, none of it matters.
None of it
so,
matters.
Yeah.
so it's gonna reset. Oh
Yeah, they'll reset it anyway.
Yeah.
So, the thing that specifically makes me mad is the Batman one. That one makes me so fucking mad. Not only because I hate Damian Wayne, I fucking hate that little shit. I didn't start liking him until the comics with him and John Kent came out because they bounce off of each other very well. Damian by himself is fucking obnoxious and a little shit. So, but the thing that's also pissing me off is we're skipping past all the other Robins to immediately get to Damian. So,
I didn't even think
where the
about that.
fuck is Dick? Where's
Right.
Jason? Where's Tim?
Well, they will. So another.
Well, if
he didn't.
setting everything. He never said that those characters aren't already there.
So we do have information on the fact. I didn't put this in this. This video doesn't explain it, but this is going to tie into a larger Bat family, is what he claims. So I feel like he's just going to have them
So they're only
already
gonna be
aged up
established.
instead of going through progression, which again is a missed opportunity. The other variable is. He did speak on the fact that the Batman that's currently still in production is just going to be sort of as an offshoot, just sliding into
that
the
was
distance.
The other thing I did.
That's what's unfortunate.
We're
Because,
gonna have two fucking Batman at the same time.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are we doing that?
Yeah.
Like, I love.
Well, I mean, we don't. But what's weird is we don't even know, because if they say, all right, the sequel comes out in 2025, I mean, Batman is further along on the list.
Batman comes out, I think, the same year as Superman that they said. Because that was also on that list that I was looking at. Because I was looking at this yesterday.
Yeah.
Batman comes out the same year as Superman.
So they're either going to wrap everything up by 24, or they're going to, like you said, have two different
Batman running at the same time.
Now, I will say we did have, hypothetically, if you think about the Suicide Squad, we did have the Joker movie, which is still in progress, the musical. I really don't know why the fuck they made a musical.
Yeah,
like, of all things, you know what we didn't want out of this movie, out of the sequel of the Joker, was a musical.
I think, funnily enough, most of the people complained about, I think it's Lady Gaga being in there, she's playing Harley Quinn. Most of the people complained about that. But
About the fact that it's not, what's her name?
Yeah, but the moment I found out it was her, I was like, oh no, they're gonna sing. And then it was like, oh, it's a musical. I was like, oh no.
Yep.
They're singing. I also got no beef with Lady Gaga playing her, because she's weird as fuck, and I think she fits the bill kind of well, so I'll just have to see how it goes. But
Again, we're going with it's an older Joker, and it's going to be a Harley Quinn that's like right around that age.
Yep.
So it's going to work, I'm sure.
That's probably.
And it's going to be fucking weird and depressing and fucking weird as shit. That's
all
all I'm
the
going to
things
say.
you look for in the Joker movie.
100%.
Yeah, but you lost me at mute. You lost. Oh, I blanked out on that. You said something. What you said? What we talk about again? A music.
Like, as someone who fucking hates musicals, like, I despise musicals.
Yeah, I just, I know we're talking about the stuff that's not in this announcement, but that's the weird thing that's left out here is, like he said, everything that's in progress or was in progress is now just off to the side and will have no, relevance.
Facts. And I hope they don't bring back Ezra Miller after this. Because he's talking, from what I've been reading, he's talking, first off, about how this is one of the greatest movies.
Of course he's going to keep fucking saying that.
Yeah, of course you're going to say that because you want to reboot it. But, bro, I don't think it is.
No. The amount of reshoots this went through and, the original concept and how much has been pulled out and stitched in.
Facts. It's going to be
I think at this point they just, they keep him in the movie. I'm pretty sure they're just we're too far into production.
No, it was like they said this last year. Beginning of last year, it was too expensive to stitch someone in, like a new actor, reshoot everything, than to just, because they were thinking, okay, as the whole shit where he was beating the fuck out of people and going into people's homes and stealing shit and assaulting people, they were like, all right, we have two options. We could
he was tripping.
Yeah, there were three options. There was, you could put it on HBO Max, and they were like, we are not going to make enough money. They literally they were like, they thought about it, not going to work. We can recast him, but that would cost as much as losing as we would putting it on HBO Max, or we could just keep going and put it in theaters eventually. And so here we are with this movie that was supposed to come out a year ago. So yeah, fucking weird.
Yeah, this whole DC shit is just gonna be weird in general. I'm gonna watch it for the most part because DC, unlike our other co-hosts here, DC is my favorite of the two. So
I'm not saying DC. I'm not saying DC is bad. I'm saying the DCU.
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing with
the comics and animations. I love that.
Right.
They can make those all day. I don't know who the Creature Commandos are. I'm still gonna watch the animated one. I'm still gonna watch it because it's an animated one.
The thing that gets me,
always doing justice.
The thing that gets me though is that he said that they're gonna be played by the same people in everything across.
Yeah.
One. There's been a thing with voice actors and actors doing
losing roles to
voice actors losing roles to actors, and as someone who's attempting to be a voice actor, I can understand that that's gonna be fucking annoying.
Disgusting, yeah.
Yeah, people are gonna fucking hate that. But it could go well. But it could also fuck up really badly if people don't like the live action variation.
Yeah, it's very risky because like you said, there's that, but there's also the loss of having a secondary actor doing it. I mean, there was a whole thing with cast of the Flash casting back in the day, or probably 5-6 years ago now, where it's do you cast Ezra Miller or do you just go with the guy that's been playing the Flash?
Grant Gustin.
And what a mistake!
Yeah,
what a simple mistake! Hey, you could have just cast the guy that played Flash.
Y'all even
really
brought him in, and he's the reason that his suit looks the way it is. Y'all had Grant Gustin in the studio. What are y'all doing?
And again, I know it's like you said, it's the reverse where you take someone from TV and put them in the movies, and I know, like you said, it's you want to have that separation sometimes, but that was the perfect example of you just align it and just do it. But I don't think you should do it for every single character, especially those that are hypothetically, let's say, getting older. We just lost what's her name, Tess from Last of Us, the series Last of Us, and she got done shooting her stuff, but she's dead, and it's dude, you got to now watch out for that.
May she rest in peace.
May she rest in peace, but you have to watch out for that. So it's always something that you have to pay attention to, and I think it's something where it saves them money.
Yep.
For now, and we'll see how this goes. But that's
also shout out my boy Jamie Reyes, aka Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle. I mean, again, This is still better than what Sony's doing with the Spider-Verse concept, by the way. Because I don't want to spend too much time on this, but they want to make their own villain verse without a Spider-Man actor. Again, and by the way, Sony, all you have to do is invest in the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that's
like,
what you gotta do.
Have it all be animated for a little bit. And just work with the shit that's successful. Stop. No one liked Venom 2.
No. The only thing I liked about it was my boy playing Carnage, and that's because I like him.
That's right. Great actor. That's it. And they wasted him.
Yeah.
You kill him.
Yeah.
In the only movie that he's in. Great job. I don't know how much influence Michael Jackson has in your musical life, guys, but he's going to get a new biopic in 2025, and who's playing him but his nephew, Jafar Jackson.
Let me actually see what he looks like now, because I saw this topic when I walked through the door. Okay, hold on. All right.
Oh, darn. I hope you type in Jafar to went to Aladdin.
I knew you were going to. I knew it was like...
What?
Yeah, no, but it looks... It's not a bad thing. That's what I'm saying.
Not.
It's this, you know...
For Beat It? Yeah, fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
By the way, I just want to say, like,
Not bad at all.
What I've seen for a lot of people's thoughts on the Michael Jackson movie is they want a full-length life movie. People aren't thinking. Have you seen the like Steve Jobs biopic from not the Ashton Kutcher movie?
Okay.
The movie that was with Michael Fassbender.
Oh, yeah.
It was more serious and realistic, right? That only centered on about 20 years of his life. I would love if they don't try to pull this bullshit where you go through the entire fucking story into the 90s. You just focus on the turmoil of the end of the Jackson 5 into Thriller.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of there was a lot of shit he didn't like going into the final years of the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
Going into Off the Wall, he was like, then he's really kicked off even further. That's where I think you really fucking shine. You just do a small segment like that. I think that's where his face looks close enough before Michael Jackson turns into a ghost. So, it works.
Quite literally in one of those music
That was good. That was good.
That's right.
That was putting it nicely.
Yeah, so,
also is he broke out into singles music like a lot earlier than I remembered it, in all honesty. Like he had a lot of songs that we know of him that we thought were from the Jackson 5 days were just him.
Right. Yeah.
Which when I learned that I was like, damn, what the fuck?
But yeah, no, like what is that? Friend Like Ben is like that's technically just him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like again, he's very influential, and of course this is going to happen again. And by the way, guys, while you have the chance and while this movie's about to come out, Ubisoft, it would be a perfect time to talk to the Jackson estate about, remastering and putting back out the Jackson experience to the Switch and any other platform that's not stuck in 2007. All right.
Fucking jank-ass motion controls.
Dude, come on, man. Get to the future. All right. Let's look at this Super Mario Brothers clip real quick here.
All right. Meow.
Ah! You got the cat box! Oh my... I'm sorry. Okay. Now you die.
So Nintendo and Illumination continue to drop new content on the Super Mario movie coming out very soon this year. We get one more focused around Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong, and I want to know, what do you guys think here?
Okay.
I got that yelling super real quick early. Was that a reference to the whole Sonic meow, or that was just them doing a meow as well?
That because he's in the cat suit, I think. Also, okay. I'm gonna be honest. I was warming up to what the fuck is his name? Pratt. I was warming up to Chris Pratt, and it just I lost it.
I'm not.
But this is what I lost it completely. I'm back at step one.
Yeah,
now
I'm not vibing with it.
I also look Donkey Kong.
We ain't got nothing off of that.
Again, I will say, was it funny as fuck? Now you die. I love the quick turn. Like, awesome. Seth Rogen's voice, though, he's just Seth Rogen.
That's just Seth Rogen.
Like, I mean, it's Donkey Kong. You don't really need to go any deeper into it. I mean, Seth Rogen as himself is just a Donkey Kong.
That's understood.
It's the same thing with Jack Black.
No, Jack Black is invested.
Black is
He's the only. I'm sorry.
Him and Charlie Day.
He is the only one, and Charlie Day, but mostly Jack Black is the only one fully going into.
I know, but
some
you
sort
still
of investment.
But you can still hear the Jack Black, and it's not like Chris Pratt where it's just.
Hey, it's me, Chris Pratt. Like, go see Guardians, where you'll hear my same voice again.
But I think of Seth Rogen's voice is just a perfect match for Seth Rogen himself. A perfect match for Donkey Kong.
That's the thing too, because I dislike. Alright, so the thing about the Donkey Kong one is, like, Seth Rogen himself sounds goofy as fuck, and like you said, we have nothing to build off for Donkey Kong, minus some quick fucking quotes from him in like Smash or some shit.
Right.
But we don't really have a lot to build from him, so his is kind of understandable. It's an empty slate. But I still don't like fucking Chris Pratt's Mario.
No.
Like, I don't.
No.
I've tried to warm up to it, and he's kind of good at impressions, but y'all also had the fucking Mario voice actor in the studio voicing someone that we don't know of yet. So, he was there.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird choice. By the way, I will say, I've asked this the last time we talked about the Mario movie. I think you had one, but I haven't asked you, Dante. What would you want as a solo movie? Sort of, if Nintendo this becomes successful, what's the next movie you'd like Nintendo to work with, or a character you'd like them to center a movie on?
I have a couple answers, but I'll simple it down to one. Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, it seems like was that your choice?
No, I wouldn't want Zelda to be a movie. I would want that to be a series.
That's right. You said that. Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
I would want Metroid to be a movie.
That would be fucking
Metroid would be a
awesome.
movie.
Yeah.
It would make for a good thriller / horror. Don't make it too scary, but have her going to Zebus.
Yeah.
And having her fight Mother Brain, going deeper into the pirates. Yeah. That would be make for a great movie, and then
100%.
And that whole escape sequence would make for a great ending.
Just final.
Yeah, just final. Yeah. I think that would make for a great movie. I think Zelda would make for a great series
because all the way up with the horror aspect.
Go as far. I don't just turn it to 11.
I don't know if they like the Zelda series because you do a lot of shit in Zelda.
Yeah,
and to try to cram that onto a movie, because they're going to want to go with either Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time.
It's tough.
And if they go to either one, they're going to have to start with him as a kid. Like if they start with not Link to the Past, if they start with Ocarina of Time, they can start with him as a kid,
right?
And then they have to age him up. And who would want to get to the end of the first movie and he's just frozen? It's frozen for 7 years, and the next movie now let's try to run through 8 dungeons.
Yeah,
it's
all and again, it's all very short. You get very little runtime with that. I
think it would make for a better series.
It's tough. That's what's up.
You could do a movie about even though I love Warriors games, but the story for the fact of them losing before Breath of the Wild.
Calamity?
Yeah, the Calamity version could have been a really good fucking movie. Because, first off, we know he's going to fucking lose, but we have to see all the events
that
led up to them losing. The first act can be them meeting
up, and the second act can be them just getting their ass handed.
Yeah, you can have them getting their ass beat.
Absolutely.
Climax is you got Ganon cornered.
Nintendo wouldn't go for that.
That's the thing, because
Nintendo absolutely not go for that.
Nintendo fucking both loves and hates their fans, so they will 100% definitely not do that.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, they're not gonna have a movie where half of the cast is just murdered.
Get fucking no scope.
No. Like I said last time, I think the safest choice for Nintendo, even though they're going with Donkey Kong next, apparently, is just going with Kirby. Kirby works, adorable, cute, simple. You just, boom, movie, 2 hours, you get everyone, kids, adults, pop culture craze, Kirby. Fuck it. Boom.
So,
plaster the plushie everywhere.
The thing is, how would you go about with Kirby? Because I don't think I want to hear Kirby speak normal sentences.
I don't want him talking at all.
Yeah, no, you just go with a Wally.
The fucking
if he goes beyond Poyo, I'm gonna be...
Yeah, I'm gonna be mad as fuck.
Or they make a fart joke, I'm also really upset.
Kirby goes, your end is now, dude.
Your ass is mine. No. He's again. If you go with just like a Wally route, I think you're going to be just fine. There's been enough movies where you just have a character say a couple words, or you had sound effects and words.
I hope they do something like, I know I hate them. I hate them with a passion, but I'm just gonna with the minions.
Oh god,
I hate them with a passion.
absolutely.
But they don't really talk. And Kirby should be doing something that's similar, where he's just like Poyo Poyo, and everyone understands what's going on.
Yeah.
Then again, he doesn't really need co-stars. You need the little Friday thing that follow him around, and then just go on from there.
Yeah.
But they need somebody talking in the movie.
Meta Knight, D, you can have them talk. Most likely, because if you're doing the Kirby movie, you're gonna have Meta Knight. And
But it's Meta Knight. He's not gonna be with Kirby the entire time.
No, but he'll be someone that can talk when you see him. D will most likely do majority of the talking, because it's D.
Right.
And people are used to him talking since right back at you.
It's all doable.
So it's doable. It'll be difficult, but it'll be doable. But I definitely watch the fuck out of that. I love Kirby.
Good shit. Yeah, Super Mario movie comes out in April, I believe.
April, right?
So, soon.
Right now, Godzilla's out there and he's hurting people. We don't know why.
We need Kong.
The world needs him.
It's crossover month here at the Screen Blast Podcast. We're talking about our first big crossover movie, Godzilla vs. Kong. There have been a lot of Godzilla vs. Kongs, apparently, through history.
Yes.
And this is just the latest version. So this is the Godzilla that was owned by Warner Brothers, came out in 2014, had a sequel, King of Monsters, and then the King Kong that was from Legendary. Now, Legendary went back and forth back in that point in time. They moved the King Kong project, or the sort of concept of Kong Skull Island, to Warner Brothers, so that this concept of a combination crossover could actually work. So now, we are here in 2023. They were there in the past. Their original plan was to release this in March of 2020. We know what happens in March of 2020.
Yep.
Magical time. WB delays it then. Actually, they delayed this in late 2019 because the COVID stuff was happening worldwide, starting in late 2019. So they were like, all right, we'll move this to November of 2020. All right. WB then moves it again in the middle of summer, the worst part of this stuff, to May of 2021, and thankfully that is where it's set. Now, sequel's already confirmed, now in 2024. So, let's talk about this movie. Big monster battles, fun time, and like I said when it came out, man, I wish I saw this on a big screen, because there's some kick-ass stuff that happens that I wish I didn't see on a small screen first. It's such a fun time, so many cool battles. There are a couple characters I am annoyed with, but for the most part, the human characters actually have a motivation or a reason to be there, and it's not just like a Roland Emmerich film where you have like Roland Emmerich, you'll have a character or a family that's just like 2012 family stuck in the middle of it. Oh, we gotta follow these characters with stupid angst bullshit. Like, it sucks.
I say half the human characters.
Half. You talking about the podcast half, or are you talking about the half that are
I'm talking half
on the Kongs? Yeah, on the Kongs.
They had a reason for being there. I'm talking about the other half.
The other half seemed to be on a research side. And have you seen Gods and Monsters, like the Godzilla movie?
Maybe
not for a while, because it came out before COVID.
Yeah.
But there's real motivation for why the teenage girl is totally trying to find out what the fuck's happening. She just comes off as really like an asshole through this movie, though.
The whole thing is that whole sequence where the two kids and the podcast sneaks into a high city facility, and you're telling me there's no gods in there?
Yeah, that was weird.
They just
very convenient.
They just got through. They wrote the fucking elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it. It's not like
and it's not like there's no one protecting the elevator at the top. There's no one protecting the elevator at the bottom. They just
no cameras in the spot.
Are you telling me nobody saw this? I find disbelief. The whole bullshit through that part was just like
very annoying.
Yeah, I was like, I like you said, she had reasons, but it's just the way it went about it.
Absolutely, yeah. What did you guys think overall about this film? You know, we'll get into the big, actual boss fight battles. Like I wrote down like we get to see Godzilla in the first 10 minutes like rip apart like that power plant, and that's cool. Like because the whole thing about the first Godzilla movie is tease.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like that approach because we've seen Godzilla a billion times, and so it's all about the backstory. But it was enough. It was like, hey guys, come on, can we see some destruction? Kind of fucking stupid. This one, 10 minutes in, Godzilla comes up, destroys the fucking place. Awesome fight. Not even fight, just awesome destruction. And then we get the first fight, by the way, in the first 40 minutes. So we're not waiting that long for conflict. I do like that about the movie, but what do you guys think about it overall as a sort of crossover?
I think more that whole scene at the beginning, I do agree was awesome. But I think they were just they were getting it out of the way because they knew that towards later on the movie was going to be primarily Kong. So they wanted to give something to the Godzilla fans where it was just like here's Godzilla because in a couple of minutes he ain't gonna be gone for about 40 minutes.
Well, no, he's gone. Well, he's gone for only about 30 because it happens. It happens at the 10-minute mark, and then it comes back in like at the 39-minute mark. So it's like
and then he rolls out again,
and then that's where you get the large gap. Yeah, absolutely. There's not a lot of Godzilla, but I will say it's more fair to give Kong time in a movie where he only has one movie, Skull Island, and a lot of that is build up to get to even Skull Island to begin with. So giving Kong more time, I completely agree. He's way more chill in this movie. He's like, fuck it, and I know that beginning they have him contained, and they're like, we need to fucking move him, and they're trying to find this fucking place that apparently is perfect.
That was fun.
That was cool.
That was watching him travel through that underground world.
The core world where it's like two separate parallel gravitational situations.
But did anyone think that the technology at the beginning of the movie and the technology towards that part was like 2000 then like 2070?
Because it was in between. No, you're right. I agree with Dante. Where it's like we have this super hyper futuristic, and then we're back in 2004.
Yeah, like they're on fucking boats, like with no kind of
way to prevent.
Yeah, and then suddenly they got ships that can just fly and be okay when gravity switch, like. And then it just you didn't lose control of the craft or anything. You just the propulsion system on that thing was.
They got shot up the sky.
I will say that it was. They did say this was an experimental thing that they finally have done, whereas the stuff that we see, like the giant battle in where did I write that down? Wherever the ships are in the first fight. Those are all basic, regular military naval ships, right? And they didn't implement that there, even though obviously it would have made more logical sense. It's like this is a world that is very similar to like Pacific Rim without updating their technology.
Funnily enough, that fight is kind of my favorite because Kong was just laying out on the ship and Godzilla like, no. Give me that ass.
Yeah, the wood fires behind him, and he's like, fuck it, man, come on.
That was a one-sided beat down.
This entire movie is basically a one-sided beat down. Kong gets the ass.
It just. Are we on that part? Are we to that part yet?
Let's talk about the first battle. Let's talk about that sea battle. Before you guys get into the conflict, I will say I was watching this. I'm like this. And it brought me back to the first time I watched this movie. This is absolutely like when I was a kid and I'm in a bathtub and I'm playing with characters. That's what this is.
Yeah.
They're jumping on ships. Kong is jumping on ships to like get closer to Godzilla. They're smacking each other. He's using his underwater ability. Like Godzilla is more capable underwater. He's floating underwater. It's like, the ships can't blast. Obviously, nothing's worth. It's fun. It's fucking fun.
Yeah, everybody getting fucking scoped by Godzilla.
By Godzilla. Yeah, it's. Oh my god, man! It's That's what that was. That's like full like if your imagination could think it, that's what that fight scene felt like to me. But what'd you guys think of that first battle?
Like I said, it was a one-sided beatdown. That's
that
what
was
it was.
Godzilla.
That was
right there.
they even had my boy play dead.
Yeah, because he got his ass beat.
No, they're like, no, son, don't get up. They basically what the human said.
That's right.
Don't get up.
Yeah.
Just stay down.
Turn
like
off all the
if it was a boxing match, man, I was just like,
That was it, bro. Throw the towel in, bro.
Yeah.
He beat his fucking ass, bro.
I was like, oh man, that is so effed. But but if you're talking about how
He had assistance from humans and still didn't get anything close to a win. Yeah.
No.
And it's just like because the whole time thinking like, well, not on the water. Like the water battle, I was like, oh, there's no way he's winning this. This is not even a contest at the moment. You got something that's swimming under the boats. All he really has to do is to smash all the boats, and it's over. The fight's over. Like, which is one of the things I didn't understand was why didn't he just smash all the boats?
He was in the middle of doing that. He
Godzilla.
got like a couple of them, and he eventually got Kong into the water, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he got Kong into the water. He pulls Kong down. He basically almost kills Kong.
Yeah.
And the humans help him by dropping underwater charges, detonate them around Godzilla. That loosens him up enough to get up there.
Yeah, but at that point, if I'm Godzilla and I see the humans helping, I'm like, Nova Blast.
100%.
The boats. I'm like, okay, now he by himself in the middle of the water.
We can't do that. We gotta have the rest of this movie.
Gotta have the rest of the movie. That's the only problem. Yeah, we have to have the rest of the movie.
But so they should have thrown a better fight. Like
A better location.
A better location. It would have been more make sense. It was like, I don't know, maybe a small little islet.
It's almost like if you had Kong still on Skull Island, but you hadn't developed around it, and he could step out and fight, and Godzilla's like next to the water. That was almost like a perfect location. But then they surrounded him, and they said apparently yes to move. So
the thing also is, regardless of the fact that first fight, Godzilla would have beat his ass regardless.
Yeah,
like he stood no chance to him, like at all.
You mean they were on land?
No, on water.
Oh, okay.
Well, even on
land, he would have got his ass beat. Like,
I don't know.
Only if Godzilla. Godzilla would have to obviously use his charge. The problem is the key is his charge kills anything. Like one shot.
So there was a.
But he gets to hit him with it.
Gotten destroyed.
Right.
And given enough room on lane, Kong is very mobile, agile.
You're right.
He's a very agile character. I'm pretty sure he could dodge that.
That's his only advantage.
Like it's when it blasts out, it's not like a
wide spot.
Like,
no,
it's whatever.
It's very concentrated.
Yeah. So I don't know if you get behind Godzilla.
Right, but that's the thing is he would have an advantage.
What?
He would have an advantage, but like okay, let's say he had no human assistance at all. Does he win against Godzilla?
No.
I don't think he withstands the amount of time he would have to fight to beat Godzilla. Now we will see. We have a sequel.
That's the thing.
I don't know, man. I think towards the end of the movie, like towards the second fight.
Yeah, we can talk about the second fight now. This is in what, Hong Kong?
Yeah,
I believe so. Let me check.
Shanghai, Hong Kong. Either way, it's in China, a Chinese coastal city, a major city, iconic city.
I feel like the people who made this movie are maybe Godzilla fanboys. Because they were...
Well, there's more investment from Warner Brothers in Godzilla. We have to remember that. They had 2 movies previous, and Godzilla, currently, that Godzilla is tied within Warner Brothers, and Kong only had 1 movie and was then slid to be tied in with Warner Brothers,
It's also a king to a god type situation. My boy got God in his name. Bro name is Godzilla.
I'm just sorry, man. This dude has arms.
What that mean?
This dude has arms. He got them hands. That's what I'm saying. I have a hard time believing that Godzilla could take Kong if they're on land. I have a hard time.
That in the second fight. It ain't a hard time to believe.
Plus, in the second, then you have like a axe that absorb the blast.
That was his only advantage. Yeah.
Like. At that point, it's like the fight is over. But he still lost, and I was just like, this is so.
That is weird. How it's like you could have definitely gotten him.
I'm like,
and that's where now we know the sequel isn't planned. Obviously, at the time we had no clue back in the day when it first came out. But this was clearly like a sequel bait thing.
Yeah.
I mean, even the way he like leaves is kind of like this is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah. Like, I have no problem. I mean, I don't really have a problem with it because, again, we get to watch more of this. Hopefully, less human development gets in there. But yeah, man.
Because we got Mechagodzilla in, like, the latter half, kind of, sort of, but it was, like, Ghidorah in there.
But, and then Godzilla was losing to Mechagodzilla. But that would mean that Kong is the weakest of the three.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just like, I'm sorry. I can't agree with.
I'm sorry. Even if it's a robot, it is a robot with all the capability of Godzilla.
Like I can't believe that Kong is losing to Godzilla. I see what y'all going with it.
No, but it does suck. It does suck that it's like this is not an equal fight.
This fight, like it's hard pressed to believe that this laser blast is the defining factor of winning the fight with someone as agile and it's a freaking ape. An ape, like
but he's a big slow.
He's not
slow.
He's also young as shit.
Is he?
Yeah, they explained that in Skull Island. Kong is still young.
And he can't beat Godzilla young?
No, not Godzilla. Godzilla is like
I know Godzilla. I'm saying
Kong is still young
but Kong young can't beat Godzilla.
No,
like that means
he's
the
still
older he gets, the less.
Child.
Jesus.
So he's not fully developed yet. He's
he's not fully developed?
Yeah, he's a child.
Oh, Jesus.
That was basically what they were explaining.
Well, your wish is going to come true in the sequel, I'm sure.
Probably. I wonder who else is going to be there, because it's seeming like they want to expand on the like monster shit. So I want to know if we're going to get like Mothra.
By the way, if you want to get a human character in there, just bring Keanu Reeves in and no one else. That's all the human development we need.
Not just Keanu. Just have him play John Wick.
Just him. And just play John Wick, like just shooting people. Like, oh, we have an assassin in the area, and Godzilla's here, and King Kong's here.
Jordan and the Godzilla.
I'm sure that building he's on will be knocked down immediately.
He's going to get back up.
He's going to get... Like it's nothing, just...
He's not calmed down, so I'm pretty sure that means I'm back.
That means I'm back. I just need to get back to the Continental. It's no problem.
That boy got a ridiculous healing factor in the Continental.
Dude, that's like acceleration times 200 when you step into the Continental.
Watch that shit again recently. Actually, during fucking Otakon when I saw you there, the next day I got food poisoning. And that entire day, it was just a marathon of the John Wick movies on TV. As I was dying in the fucking hotel room.
Wick.
As I was dying in the hotel room, fucking the food poisoning, I was just watching John Wick.
So you're telling me you didn't even get to enjoy Otakon? I mean, obviously John Wick is special. But if that sucks.
I was dying.
Do you know what food you had that fucked you up?
Burger King.
Oh, of course. Yeah. No, I was like, is it some random restaurant? No, it's the worst place on earth.
Yeah, but
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was
directly after I saw y'all when I was taking myself back to my hotel room. Yeah.
Immediately felt like shit.
Yeah. I was dying.
That sucks. Because I was like, I have not seen him ever again.
Yeah, I fucking died.
It's like he must have fallen off the earth or left or something. I saw him earlier, I guess.
I was in the middle of falling off the earth.
Clearly.
Fucking Burger King kicked my ass.
Yeah, that tends to happen with Burger King, undercooked food, A+.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
I don't eat from Burger King.
Yeah, I don't fuck with them no more.
No. Taco Bell.
All right, so overall, Godzilla vs. Kong, how do you guys feel like it executed as a crossover movie? I think it was like the state of crossovers overall. I mean, you haven't watched every one of them, but do you think it did its job as a crossover? I think it did. We got 2 fights. They were solid. Yeah, obviously, the human dynamic was long, but I think it was a solid, like, I don't have a score. I don't think we need to score crossovers, but
No.
like it's a solid crossover between two different like beasts. One obviously much more ancient and bigger than the other.
The thing also is, like, crossover movies are such a spectacle because me and you've talked about one before. We've talked about a couple before, actually. We've
Yes,
talked
indeed.
about Beta Generator X, which I hold to the highest standard of crossovers because
fuck
that
yeah.
shit is
I like the
amazing.
designs of the Ben. I like the designs of the Ben aliens in that movie.
Seriously?
Big Chill was like, I did not like the design of Big Chill in that movie,
Fucking,
you know.
most of his aliens in there look fucking
Like,
sick. Like, I'm not
it
gonna
was,
lie.
It was overly
I
buff.
need to rewatch it.
It was just like it had.
I
it
did
had
not talk about it
unnecessary
again, I'm not gonna lie.
But
Yeah, definitely you can read
the movie itself, but some of the designs of these designs of the Ben 10, they try to fit in the Generator X universe.
Yeah.
I was just not feeling them.
I really fucked with the designs of most of the aliens there.
Like, also, it didn't make sense that he didn't get infected.
Hey,
I guess the thing that they kind of said, I don't even remember. Like, this is why I
need to read. Yeah, gotta
I think
go
the reason that they
through.
said he wasn't really truly infected was because of the Omnitrix. But I'd be down to watch that shit again.
Fuck yeah! Again, that's a gold standard. You know, I think.
Well, I'm not saying it's
Was
bad.
it you and me
It's
that
great.
did the Fairly Odd Parents?
Yes.
Yeah, we
did
can
that.
do that one again. Not
Timmy?
recently. Jimmy Power.
The three of them, or the four? All three of
I
them.
think it's 3.
Well, there's 3. Yeah, no, there's definitely 3. The third one definitely slips because they make them conflict with each other when they could just work together at this point.
Especially after the last
Wait, no,
one,
no,
it was
that
like
was-
basically
Or was that 2?
I think it was
That was
because
2, but yeah.
the third one was when they was fighting the evil guy they made.
Right.
okay.
Yeah, 2 was like, well, we're just gonna have them clash and have personality drama when
They were also fighting over fucking
Cindy. Yeah.
still.
Yeah. All right. Time to get to our dream crossover. If let's say hypothetically, any game, movie, anything, TV show, you could cross over with another. What would you cross over, Martin?
Me first? Okay.
Yeah, you have notes, so
yes.
I'll leave this to you first.
If I had one crossover, and I think about this for a long time, I would want the Ninja Turtles to cross over with Samurai Jack. I thought, like, man, that would be so. Either they go to the future, or he learned something about them. Like Shredder had some kind of backstory with Aku,
Yeah.
like so the Foot Clan, like they originated from some kind of ancient Japan, and they found Aku, the alien, and he's secretly like a master of theirs, like the secret master behind all the Foot Clans, or they just have like them in the future, just them go to the future and they meet Samurai Jack there, and they find out that he knows about them, like they were ancient, like from they have stories in the future about the Ninja Turtles.
About the Ninja, yeah.
Yeah, and they were saying like how they were fighting the Foot Clan, who were originally based from Aku. Yeah, and I think someone saying like, oh, that would be so cool, and he might meet the descendants, or have him, or another thing I want to, does the same Samurai Jack. I also want him to meet Usagi Yojimbo. Like if he mess and I kind of sort of want them to fight, but I kind of sort of just don't want them to fight. I want them to meet each other, because I think that would be also a very cool thing to happen. Like it would fit, because in the future of Samurai Jack, they're all talking animals, so and mutate, and they can all be like, well, they could have been some of the earlier things. We can find out that the mutagen was based from Aku, so something like that, and just have them meet each other. That would I'd love to see the Ninja Turtles like learn something from Samurai Jack.
Yeah, man.
It's just like because
That's a great concept.
yes, it would be so cool. I was like thinking like, man, or like find out that Hamato Yoshi, they knew Samurai Jack's father and them or something, and they were old friends. They claimed old friends,
Right.
and they told us something. I was like, oh, that is so cool. They just met. I want it to happen. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but it would be so cool. If
Absolutely.
Samurai Jack met the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
100%. I feel you. What do you got, man?
Fuck, I'm sitting on a couple ideas actually. I'm trying to like, fuck. Alright.
I'll go if you don't have
Yeah,
one.
go ahead.
All right. This one's from like a while back. I was looking at some old documents from the Mac, and then like I was looking through it, and it was like notes from the past. And this one is like, this was from much younger me. But I would love, and we talked about just now Generator X and Ben 10.
Yeah.
But there's either that one or the other one. But I'll lock in. It was either going with Danny Phantom and Ben 10 as a teenager, or the other concept was you just age up all.
Go finish. I gotta tell you something when you're done.
All right. Or you have all of the CG Disney princesses with power.
Yeah.
Have a fucking Avengers style movie or team up movie.
With the
I'm talking Encanto, Frozen, Moana. Tangled doesn't really. Does she have? He has hair power. No, she doesn't. Right?
No, she doesn't have power. What are you talking about? Moana doesn't have any powers.
Doesn't she work with the fucking sea or whatever the fuck?
Maui has all the power.
I thought she had. No, she didn't have anything?
She doesn't have any powers.
Oh, fuck. Well, then this whole team up, fuck that team up thing.
I'm sorry. I
don't know why my brain thought she had powers. I just haven't seen this.
I think your concept would be good, but I think it would go better with, like, Frozen and, like, Brave.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, now, moving back to the original then, scratch all that shit out, ladies and gentlemen. But, the Danny Phantom Ben 10 Alien Force was just, once he became a teenager, I remember as a kid being like, fuck, man, I love Danny Phantom. And obviously Alien Force, I always loved the fact that Ben 10 progressed as in age. That's always one of my favorite things. So, you know, those two, they both transform, you know. I think it would just be interesting. What are you leaning on, Dante?
Alright. So, fuck, this is actually hella difficult.
It is.
I want to preface this by saying majority of the content that I do is anime related.
Okay.
So I'm going to try.
Do anime?
Oh, fuck it. By
the way, ladies and gentlemen, find him at Twilight Drago on YouTube. That's Twilight Drago.
So originally, I was going to try not to do an anime related one, but you just gave me the okay. So
no, man, it can be anything, you know.
So what I'd love to see, I don't know if you remember.
A Muppet style Attack on Titan. Oh fuck!
Hold the fuck up! Hold on. I know that was a joke. I know that was a joke. But I genuinely watched it.
It's now real. It's getting into production.
But no, yeah. Do you remember the show, The Secret Saturdays?
Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah, of course.
I love them, and it's an anime that I've been really watching a lot while reading, because I mostly read manga. Jujutsu Kaisen. I want Secret Saturdays to go into, and at least have them in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Right.
I'd read the fuck out of that.
You just have like a featured episode or an entire just like...
Give me something.
Something. Yeah, anything.
Just give me fucking something.
Something. All right, cool deal. Those are our crossovers, ladies and gentlemen. This is Screen Blast. Again, you can find Dante at Twilight Drago. Martin, you can't find him anywhere because he likes to be an independent person. And you can find me, of course, at themocracy.com. ATHEMOCRACY.com. As always, stay tuned for more, and thanks for listening.